everybody. Welcome back to Sunny Silver Linings. This week we have a special guest, but before we get there, let's do a quick introduction. As always, we have Sunny Kaila from IT by Design, and this is his podcast where we provide best practices and little bits of wisdom to all the MSP owners and operators out there. Sunny, welcome.
Thank you, Todd.
And boy, do we have a special guest this week. I almost said I didn't need to introduce him. Maybe he should be introducing us because this man, everybody knows this guy. Arlin Sorenson, VP of Brand and Ecosystem at ConnectWise. Arlin, thank you for joining us.
It is great to be with you this morning, Todd.
Fantastic. So, Arlin, you've been in the MSP ecosystem before it was the MSP ecosystem. You've been around many years, like, many others. But let me ask you a question. Here we are, middle of June 2020. We're just starting to, get through this COVID-19. So, let's start here. If you were still an MSP owner leading during this pandemic, and you and I were to meet again post-COVID for, say, a follow-up podcast, what would need to be true to you to feel happy about your leadership during this crisis?
Well, Todd, I'll start by saying I'm glad I'm not an MSP during this crisis. I have a lot of respect for people that are sitting in those chairs right now because it's been a challenging 3 to 4 months already and we're not done yet. But, what I would focus on definitely is making sure that I'm running the business today. It's pretty easy to get distracted and you've got to manage cash flow. Cash is still going to be the most important thing in the second half of this year and on into 2021. So that's critical step number one. It takes strong leadership. I'd want my team to say, you led us well, which means that I took care of myself, I took care of them, I took care of our clients, and I stayed focused on what needed to happen. But I also looked ahead. The winners in this whole pandemic crisis are going to be those that look for the opportunity and don't get mired down in the day-to-day challenges that we're all going through, because there's plenty of that. But there's going to be huge opportunity as we come out of this on the other side. I don't know if it'll be next month or when it's going to happen, but it will come. And most wealth gets made actually through these tough times. And so there's going to be a lot of opportunity for people that are looking forward, seeing opportunities and going after that effectively.
Excellent. Yeah, we're hearing a lot of common themes amongst our guests, and you're right on the money there on those 3 points. So now let's talk about somebody who's in the hot seat. He is still the owner of an MSP, not just an MSP, but a master MSP. During this crisis. Sunny, so let me ask you, what would need to be true for you to be happy, post-COVID, so you can look back and say, you know what, I did it right?
What we always talk about here at IT by Design, that staying in present, those 3 P's that we talk about, staying in present, staying positive, staying productive, that is where the focus needs to be for leaders, and that's what we're focusing on. And when it comes to kind of productivity or staying productive, 3 areas. One, this is the time for leaders to show up. Number 2, this is the time for us to be offensive in terms of our proactive initiatives. So at IT by Design, for example, we started that innovation program, the culture team program. So this is the time when leaders need to be very, very proactive and take that opportunity that's coming their way, avail that opportunity. And third is cash is always king. So you got to manage your cash very carefully, that Arlin always talk about.
Absolutely. And Arlin, you're obviously still very active in the ConnectWise Evolve, prior HTG groups. We talk about new markets. Are you seeing specific markets perform better for the members that you're getting that feedback from?
Well, there's certainly a big difference in the verticals that are out there today. Partners that are serving oil and gas, hospitality, some of those areas are very much slowed down or stopped completely. And you've got other areas like healthcare, or at least in emergency healthcare, education, government. Some of those areas are actually seeing a big increase. So it's very uneven in terms of the kinds of opportunities that are out there today, but there is definitely a lot of dollars being spent and needs being met across the entire industry that's out there. The work from home transition was a huge boon for MSPs. You know, March and April were record months for a lot of our Evolve members. And so that bodes well to positioning them to be strong going into a longer recovery if that's what happens. So there's been good opportunity, but the thing that didn't get done effectively, unfortunately, was security. Businesses wanted their employees to be able to get on and connect and go to work. And so I wouldn't say there were shortcuts taken, but let's just say the traditional inside the house network does not exist outside the house. And there's a lot of work to be done around that as we come out of this thing, because we're not going back to where we were. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to work from home at least part of the time, and we're going to have to extend the walls of that network to those workers and wherever they're going to work from.
Right. And Sunny, are you seeing specific verticals in IT by design, or, you know, some of the MSPs we service? Are you seeing certain verticals, you know, being real strong or rather, you know, attractive to get into?
I agree with Arlin. It's healthcare, it's cloud setups, it's remote workplace setups. So any vertical that is more healthcare focused, life sciences, anything with telemedicine, right? So everything within that healthcare sector. And then you have the cloud setups, because small businesses where they were always reluctant to move things to cloud. That conversation is very easy right now for MSPs, because now they do understand the value of moving things to cloud. So cloud setups, migrations, that is big. And then if you can help someone, if there's any MSP out there who can create something that can give that virtual reality experience of a office bullpen from one colleague to another colleague, that's going to be huge. Because as Arlin mentioned, workforce will be not going back to the office at least for another 6 months to 1 year. And even for long-term, tolerance level of employers to kind of, employees working from home is going to be up, and people will be more lenient, in other words, letting employees work from home. So that means bigger portion of workforce will continue to work from home. People are going to find talent from other markets where they were not able to find that talent or give that opportunity to that person just because that person is not in their local market. So if I'm here, I can hire a salesperson, channel person from Florida to other states, because now I do see that work from home can work. And if I put right systems, processes in place, I can leverage talent from other cities in the state. So if I can give that experience of virtual reality to that person who's working from home, let's imagine if there is a screen here where I can just see, for example, Javed from here, where it just feels like he's just sitting right next to me in the bullpen. If we can do that, but a simplified way with files in the cloud and faster access, simple access, secure access, and give that virtual reality, those type of solutions will sell. And that is an opportunity that I see, that if there's someone who can find a solution in that area, whatever it means to them, that business is going to do well.
Excellent.
Yeah, just to add on, Todd, if I could, I think that the IoT space is also going to be an area where we're going to see huge opportunity. Automated temperature taking of people as they come to the workplace, door access and all those kind of things that we really haven't addressed. It's sort of like the cloud. This event was made to move the cloud to the next level. It's been there for a long time. People just haven't embraced it, much like work from home. But I think that as you said, Sunny, there is going to be a change of attitude amongst companies to enable people to work from home at least part of the time. And we're going to have to create an environment to make that productive. The first few months, it's just been kind of a novel thing. Now it's starting to settle in and people are starting to understand that it's not as rosy as maybe they thought it was when they first did it. But the thing we can do is enable that environment to become as much like being in the office as possible, with taking away the commute and some of the other things that were negative about going to work every day.
Absolutely. And let's, one more quick point to touch on. Arlin, you've been in leadership roles for a long time. What changes in the leadership models or things that leaders need to focus on more so today that maybe, prior to this crisis, they didn't need, to have such a laser focus on?
Well, I think one of the things, Todd, is that many MSPs see themselves as the superhero in their business. They've carried the business on their back. They've led with muscle and feel. And in this dispersed work environment, that superhero can't be everywhere all the time like they could maybe in the office. And so we have to learn to lean on our teams. We have to empower our teams and enable them to do their jobs more effectively. That whole moving to the next level of leadership, I think, is critical as we go through this pandemic, because owners have got to stay laser focused on running the business and making sure that they're managing cash and doing all the things to keep the business stable. And they're going to have to trust their people to do their work and enable them and give them the authority and power to get those things done.
Excellent. And Sunny, what are you coaching your next line leaders to focus on here as we go through this pandemic?
Yeah, so number one for us here is communication. That's internal and external. So we have communicate. So we had to find new ways to communicate. Todd, for example, you jump on our coffee with community every day. At 7:45, that's more like a virtual town hall that happens where we have hundreds of people. So now we have Arlin close to 500 team members. They all jump on this webinar type of setup every morning, 7:45. We grab our cup of coffee. We have a conversation for 10, 15 minutes. We celebrate our wins. It's just a way to start positive every day because there's just so much negative stuff happening around us. So it's an opportunity for the entire team to come together every single morning to start the day right. And then also celebrate wins. Right, so you need to be able to communicate. And then with our partners, we're doing a lot more in terms of communication through different channels. And this is one of them that we just started. So communication is one thing that we are focusing on here at IT by Design. Number two is, how can we engage more people? Because we need more helping hands during this type of situation. So we started that innovation team, which is a volunteer-based opt-in approach with the culture team opt-in approach. We have a lot more people that are engaged in terms of finding solutions to problems, coming up with new offerings, right? The VCIO product that we are launching right now is a result of that innovation team that was put together just 2 months ago. And now they have created 3 new products. So that's what you need to do, engage more people, because there are people in our organizations where they want to do more, but it's just giving them an opportunity to work on something that they are passionate about, so they can come up with some new way of doing things, from process evolution point of view to systems to new offerings, finding new markets. That is what we are trying to focus on here. What can we do? What Arlin mentioned, what are the opportunities out there? And how can you create those capabilities to avail those opportunities without spending too much extra cash, because you also have to keep that balance of cash. So the only way I could see was engage more people that are already with us. And how can they do more, give them opportunities, give them responsibilities so that they can help build us structures that are going to help us thrive in this new environment.
Absolutely. You know, as a leader of an MSP or a TSP, and you're not really sure, you know, what you can do within your practice, Arlin has been kind enough to share a document with us that has 12 leadership things to focus on right now. And you'll find a link to that in the video description. You can download that template. Arlin, thank you for that. And let me start the wrap up here. Arlin, thank you for being with us. Certainly appreciate it. I would say you're a bit of a legend here in the channel. I've always looked up to you. And we appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Thank you, Todd. It's been a joy to be with you, and just encourage everybody to keep their eye on the ball right now.
Absolutely. And Sunny, as always, why don't you wrap up and tell us what the silver linings this week are?
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Arlin. Those are the three. We have a great experienced leader with us today. And what he is, his advice, his wisdom, and those 3 points that he talked about. Focus on the opportunity, stay positive, focus on your cash, and focus on, what are the things that you need to do as a leader, where you need to work harder than anyone around you within the company and even people around you. So this is the time for you to show strong leadership that Arlin talked about, and the opportunity focus. What are the opportunities that I can see before others see? And how can I manage my cash better? That's what he shared with us, and that is our silver lining for today. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you for viewing, and we hope you'll, take a moment to subscribe. It's right over there, and click that button. Doesn't hurt, and we hope to see you again on the next episode. Thank you, everyone.